So let's take care of understanding the visionary role of purchasing. So we have the history of purchasing here. So we have the clerical era. Before World War II, purchasing was viewed as a clerical function. So if you've ever seen some old pictures of, let's say, a bunch of ladies sitting at typewriters, that was the clerical era. So, but then World War II came in and we had material shortages, put the emphasis on purchasing because we needed to be able to find the materials to make warships or bullets or the rifles or even clothing. The effort was put a huge emphasis on purchasing. But then we have the transactional era. So 1950 to about the 70s, purchasing became a managerial function. So it was expanding enough where they actually decided to start putting a manager over purchasing. So about the same time as the 1950s to the 70s, that was about when Korea and then Vietnam started. And then in about 1973 to about the middle of the 80s, we had the Cuban Missile Crisis and some other things happening. Inflation was increasing dramatically. I remember my father saying that he had an interest rate for his house at 21% was the interest rate. That is outrageous. I mean, today it's about 3%. But 21%, that's amazing. But we moved into the strategic era. So about the 1985 to 1995, lean management makes purchasing quasi-strategic. So we're getting more and more strategic. And then 1995 to 2005, we started doing outsourcing, which made purchasing strategic. We needed purchasing to help achieve our strategic goals. But then today and tomorrow, supply chain is integrating into the executive suites. We have chief procurement officers. So no longer is supply chain falling under a chief information officer or a chief operating officer. It's actually breaking out and becoming its own. So this is where we've been, and we really can only start guessing what tomorrow's going to bring. What's the vision that you want to bring? I really like the idea of having a chief procurement officer because now you have somebody who can argue on behalf of the supply chain in the board of directors meeting with the CEO, with everybody else, if need be, to give supply chain a voice because we're so critical, especially in purchasing, because purchasing can make or break a company. $1 saved in purchasing is $1 directly to the bottom line. So we have that much power, we should have a seat at the table. But what are some game changers in supply chain? So let's look at some purchasing game changers in our next video.